So timestamps exist in case you just want to skip forward, but otherwise, I mean, again, as always, at least let me say, just use Sakura Bakushin O if you have her, or anyone else who you happen to make that it can be a front runner in Sprint, because that is going to help you out the most. But as we get into this Taiki Shuttle race, might as well show, just in case you, for whatever reason, have not seen anyone or yourself do the legend races. Here's the Taiki Shuttle you're racing against. Again, nothing too surprising, unless like you see like 5 acceleration or velocity gold skills, then it's like but otherwise not really much else to look at there. Otherwise, this is the gold ship that we're going to be using. Might add someone else. Future Jordan will find that out. I keep looking at the inspirations there, but this is the gold ship I'm using. Sprint A aptitude. I was doing a lot of preparation. You don't need to do this, don't make yourself suffer, but at the same time, I am a bit proud of doing that, because at least I'm lucky enough to have gotten it with the resources I have. And not saying that, by resources I mean support cards, but it's not like my support cards are absolutely down the drain, but as you might see in the bonus section at the end of this video, boy, I've tried to scout Kitasan Black a lot. Which would have helped. I only want 2 copies. We'll go with good here, why not? I really should parfait, but we've got 9 races to do our thing, and otherwise, not really much else to look at. Aside from, I guess we can look at the other rivals, because they do make a difference, as you saw in the King Halo race. Funny things can happen, and that's partly because, well, hey, getting blocked. But otherwise, hey, here's the Hishi Akebono. Again, nothing too spectacular. Everyone else should lose to either your Musume or the Legend Racer being highlighted, which, again, nothing too special here. Yes, I am also trying to fill time while the game is loading and nothing else happening, but that's why timestamps exist. That being said, so there was something I did want to correct myself, if nothing else, or not correct, well, yeah, correct myself, is that for team trials, if you don't have a third team, like if you get to class 3 and unlock your 3rd slot, I'm pretty sure that's the requirement there, then yes, if you don't really have someone for that slot, then no, you do not want to fill out your whole slot. But most of the times you're going to be able to anyway. Yeah, you should be able to. But that's another topic entirely. So as we get into this here, again, I'd like to reiterate, you don't need to do this, and you really should make things easier for yourself. This is not complicated to do, but that doesn't mean that there aren't people who don't know. But I think that's by far trainers in the minority. So I believe personally at least 60 to 70% of trainers know what they're doing to some extent, especially if you're doing the legend race and you've built your Musumes as they were at base designed. Again, at base, your gold ship is not supposed to be in this race, but I'm trying to grab trophies here and there, and I've made some spaghetti during the King Halo legend races. If you don't know why, just go look at them. But as we enter the final spurt here, Taiki Shuttle is probably going to usually pull ahead. As a pace chaser, you don't need to deal with the pain of being a late surger and end closer, which is you being blocked. But otherwise, since we outstat Taiki Shuttle, we should be able to pull forward. Now the question is, can we catch up? Which it would be nice, though. Yeah, okay, good. And then go home specialist. For some reason, I'm going crazy, but I'm not going to say what I'm going to say, because as we get drop kicked here, yeah, I need to do some extra homework, even though you shouldn't really need to. But at the same time, I'm going to say that I am going to. So yeah, we're probably putting a Sakura Bakushin O at this point. As there's not really much else to say here. We're just going to be doing it. I might do another gold chip run, but, well, we have a lot of sprint racers, funny enough. But if I can grab 2 trophies as gold chip, that's my personal goal. Again, you don't need to do this. The trophies in your trophy room don't mean anything. They don't do anything for you, aside from them being there. But if you don't care about that, as 99% of trainers should, yeah, also just making sure this is the Sakura Bakushin O I want to use. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh my goodness, why am I looking at all that stuff? Yeah. Again, you don't need Nakayama Race Course. We already hit the stamina requirements. Our guts is by far, I think, a lot higher than it should be. I'm pretty sure you need less than like 250 guts. It's some value below that. But if I'm guessing wrong, correct me. That's why if nothing else, I want you, the viewer, and we're gonna parfait here, to use your own brain. And then on average, having a great mood increases your stats by 4%-ish. That's not the strict calculation, but just get that in your mind, because the game tells you itself, and if nothing else, other sources online, whether they're other trainers, documents, or and so on and so forth, will tell you that's around the ballpark. But I'll continue talking when this timestamp starts. So it's a late start there, but also, I do think Uma Musume is a game of a lot of small variables working together. Now, obviously, there are some variables are larger than others in terms of actual race effectiveness, but that doesn't change the fact I believe around the ballpark of, again, a lot of small variables. For example, late start isn't going to absolutely destroy you. It will mean a lot to front runners, but it's not gonna. If you outstat your opponents, that's by far the biggest variable. But it's one variable among many. So if you get a late start, then you get rushed, then you don't proc any of your skills because you fail wits checks, so on and so forth, things like that. Yes, then all of those variables are adding up together to hurt you. But that's what I mean by Uma Musume, if, at least in my opinion, is more a game of, and the races are more a lot of variables playing in tandem. I'll mention the wits randomness again because I like to mention that because it's something that I've been looking into and it's interested me as we just absolutely smash this out of the park. But again, we just outstat this Taiki Shuttle speed-wise and acceleration-wise. Now, if the Taiki Shuttle were at stat level, then, or it had the same approximate stats as the Sakura Bakushin O, then it'd be a question of usually skills in that point. But I think there are other variables at play that I'm not thinking of. Again, I'm thinking off the top of my head. We'll do one more gold chip run. But anywho. Oh, I did not show you my Sakura Bakushin O, by the way. No, I did. Never mind. I'm going absolutely crazy. Anywho, back to our gold chip. And if you didn't know what happened, just to summarize, during the King Halo Legend races, I made it oopsies. On top of the fact that I did not prepare. That's why the third episode, or the third day, is so bloof. Because I finished my preparation. It's so long because I finished my preparations. But anywho. And as I wanted to mention, blah, 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 blah. What was I trying to say? Really quickly before the timestamp, so I don't yap on. But, oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind, moving on to the timestamp. Again, I just like to be silent for the sake of making the timestamps a bit less jarring, if that makes any sense. I almost skipped, by the way. But, as we actually get into this race, again, we're probably going to get blocked. End closers and late surgers have it a bit tougher. But again, it is a larger variable, but it is one variable of many, and I do believe power is by far the best thing you can do if you're getting blocked. But again, when you're blocked, you're blocked. Like, it's what can you say? And if you need no other evidence, if nowhere else, then the King Halo races that I did, and just look at King Halo and whether or not she gets blocked or not, and whether or not she procs on your left or not. But that's a completely different topic. I just caught on to what I wanted to talk about again. I forgot. So as we watch here, we're kind of stuck on the inside for the moment. If Gold Chip can find her way through, which he's not, then it would be nice. But if not, you can squeeze through during the final spurt. It's just that we didn't break out fast enough, and now we're stuck again. As you can see, Gold Chip there. so Taiki Shuttle does take this. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's the tragedy of being an end closer late surger at times. So, as we close this out with pretty much the bonus section as we go into the scouting now, because I should have enough for at least 2 scouts. I definitely know I had enough for 1, and we'll grab these goodies, might as well. I don't have a Taiki Shuttle, but for some reason, at some point, so here's something funny to talk about while we're going through the game here. Yeah, I thought for some reason you could get Uma Musume with SAR pieces as well, a long time ago, but you need to scout them. So, I will do at least 1 scout on Korin-chan, but that'll be after the Kitasan Black banner ends, which will be pretty much in a day. So I won't be able to do a 10 scout, so I might as well just do the 1 scouts. That's I think the practical use case, if you're so gung-ho. Now, you shouldn't be using your carrots like this anyway, but I am. So as you can see here, we have 171 scouts. So add this on top of the 200 scouts I did to exchange for just my 1 copy that I have. And yeah, you'll get your answer. This is I've already maxed uncapped my Hishi Amazon, so yeah. But essentially I got 15%ed. I think if you run the numbers with the 99.9%, the chance of you not getting Kitasan Black here in 370 scouts is about 15%. So I got 15%ed. It exists in this game, and that's funny if nothing else. But yeah, without further ado, if you have anything to say, any questions, if you want to shout out or say criticism, yeah, I'll always try to look at it. If I don't have anything to say or I don't know what to say, I'll just kind of tilt my head. Otherwise, I usually look at comments and whatnot. And if you have any suggestions and whatnot, I do need to schedule my next Umalock challenge, which, I mean, is not something spectacular. I could make it harder, but hey. But without further ado, thank you for watching. This is the end screen. I'll see you later. Bye!